can hear Jeff on the stream.
Yeah, now we actually
I'll spill myself. We have a minute left, and I already took melatonin. It'd be really funny if someone took 6,000, so I have to pound. You look at a gym and you piss your pants and faint.
Because women are inherently seen as taking up more space than men. I love how immediately we've teamed up against this guy.
He's gaslighting. He's gatekeeping. He is not girl boxing.
And good night. Goodbye, everybody.
No, I can hear Jeff. I can hear Jeff on the stream.
yeah, now we actually
I'll spill myself. We have a minute left, and I already took melatonin. It'd be really funny if someone took 6,000, so I have to pound. You look at a gym and you piss your pants and faint.
Because women are inherently seen as taking up more space than men.
You look at a gym and you piss your pants and faint.
Because women are inherently seen as taking up more space than men. I love how immediately we've ganged up against this guy.
He's gaslighting. He's gatekeeping. He is not girl bossing.
And good night. Goodbye, everybody. No, I can hear Jeff. I can hear Jeff on the stream.
Yeah, now we actually
I'll spill myself.
Hit me with a big truck, Jay. We have a minute left, and I already took melatonin. It'd be really funny if someone took 6,000, so I have to pound. You look at a gym and you piss your pants and faint.
Because women are inherently seen as taking up more space than men. I love how immediately we've ganged up against this guy.
He's gaslighting. He's gatekeeping. He is not.
Hello and welcome to another wonderful Moonshot event. This that you are seeing in front of you is the Super Smash Bros. Cinematic Universe initial pitch meeting. It'll go great. People love Smash Bros. People loved what we did with the Venomverse, and I think they're
Get
gonna
it
love
canceled.
what we're doing. Yeah, we did get it canceled. We did get it canceled live when we were on stream.
Bros live on stream.
The VOD was launched. Sakurai is gonna come on screen during the surprise Nintendo Direct and say, "I'm done with this shit. I'm not doing it anymore."
It has been
And
removed from all of your Switch devices.
That's a shame. I'm sorry that's gonna happen, but it'll be fine. Now, I'm surrounded by some wonderful people. Andrew, I'm surrounded by some wonderful people here, and let's kind of go through clockwise. Starting with on my top right, which I believe is it this way? No, it's this way. Blur.
I'm Fleur. I do spreadsheets. I'm here mostly by accident.
Riley Hopkins has locked me in a room, and I'm slowly becoming Donkey Kong about it.
At 3 o'clock, school's out. It's Theo.
Hi, it's me. I'm also locked in Flora's room. We're actually like facing across from each other, and it's super weird. I'm also becoming Donkey Kong, but like I've chosen to evolve into a human being. I've gone further along the tech tree.
At 4:30, Toonami's almost done. It's Marn.
Hello, it's me. I just changed my Fuji because I realized I was still scared from when I was playing Silent Hill, and that was not really the mood that I wanted to go into this with.
That's just what Silent Hill does to you.
Then, at about 6:30 to 7, we have the Professor Juliet.
Okay, here's my question. Is post-humanism a fundamentally optimistic or pessimistic point of view?
That's a great question. We're going to have to find out later in the stream. Then at 9 o'clock, dead on, prime time is well gone at this point. It's Jeff.
Shit. I got my one in because it's prime time and I'm allowed to say that. Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm locked in Theo's room, which is adding to the confusion of the situation.
I didn't take
and
out
I'm
the
here
trash
for
before you
video
got in
games.
there.
It smells real bad. I don't know what that is, like, and I'm a little worried. Theo, I'm worried for you as a friend.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm used to it, and I think it's making my lungs stronger. It's kind of like you take a small dose of poison, and it makes you immune to the bigger doses. I'm doing small, stinky things. Eventually, I'll get up to dead bodies.
Sure. Okay. Got it.
And finally, our fearless leader right up there at 11. It's Nick at nighttime. We're watching the Black and White Brady Bunch or whatever the fuck it's in.
Hey,
Well, welcome back, Kater.
it's my iconic catchphrase. Hey.
I'm always saying it.
I am Riley Hopkins. I'm dead center here, and I thank you all for reach. I believe this was a charity stream goal. Am I right about that? We reached this. It's crushing it. Yeah, hey is going off in the chat. People love the hey, the famous hey.
It's my iconic catchphrase. You can hear it in the sound check. Hey.
Well, and I'm excited to hear more of other people's iconic catchphrases and other things because we are going to be going through and getting a pitch for a movie, a series or some sort to lead to the eventual Subspace Emissary movie that Nintendo is obviously going to do. They need help getting there, though, and that's why we're here. Each of us have pulled a myriad of characters from the Super Smash Bros., and we'll be giving you our pitches for what to do with them for a media property. We have them listed here in order of merit, and so let's start with Theo.
Wait, is that ascending or descending?
That's
Don't
up
worry
to you
about
to
it.
decide.
There we are. Yes, I'm going first. Hello, everyone. Should I just get right into it, Riley?
Yeah, your screen is up. I fucking rock and roll, brother.
Alrighty. Hello, every pony. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. I'm sure you're all wondering why I called you here today, so I'm not going to feed you any bullshit. We're here to discuss the last pitch you are ever going to need. Fuck everything that comes after this, because we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, the Super Smash Bros. Character, the movie. So, before we begin, let me take a quick sip of water. That's good water. Okay, alright, so first thing here. I already know what you're thinking. Theo, isn't there already one of those? And in fact, you're right, there is 4 of those. There's the original one, the modern one, the overrated one, and the one that, for some reason, makes my wife unspeakably horny. Also, little known fact, these movies map perfectly on to a political compass. Fun stuff. Now, where does that leave us, though? There is one element of the Sonicverse that remains cinematically underexplored, and that is Sonic Racing. Did you know that 12 out of an estimated 114 Sonic games fall under the category of a racing game? That means if you had 10 Sonic games in a room, at least one of them could hit you with its car. That's crazy! Crazy profitable, that is. Now, that's not tickling your fancy enough. I tickle a little harder with the talent we got lined up for this bad boy, starting with the Blue Blur himself. Now, we got a wealth of precedent here that we could choose from. We could go with Roger Craig Smith, Devin Mack, Ben Schwartz, Jason Griffith, so many people, but I, for one, I think we gotta pay homage to the classics. So that's why we are bringing in the OG himself, Mr. Jaleel White. He's the man who originated the role, he's the man who's played it multiple times since in fan projects, and best of all, he's the man who's gonna do it for like $1.95. Brilliant. Now, moving on, next, we've got the man in charge of all the racing in Sonic's world, King Dodonpa, who, for the purposes of this film, has had his backstory changed to that of a former Crimean warlord, and I am pleased to announce that we do, in fact, have Dave Bautista's agent's phone number, and I do plan on calling him this weekend. Next, of course, we have the ultimate life form, and who better than for the ultimate life form than the ultimate Chad form, Mr. Critical himself. However, before we get too excited, there is one thing I want to draw attention to, and that's the fact that Shadow may be Sonic's rival in all things, but for a movie of this scale, we need someone who's Sonic's rival in one thing. Maybe even a team of someone's? I think you all know who I'm talking about. That's right, this movie is going to feature the Speed Team. As led by Sam Speed, he will be played by KJ Apa. So, we've talked plenty about character, but what about plot? Well, it's been a while since Mrs. Reed's 9th grade English class, but I do remember a little something called the plot diagram. So how about we kick things off with how this movie kicks things off, or as we fancy folk call it, the introduction. So, we got Sonic, and he's running around Green Hill Zone or whatever the fuck, when he sees K. Surprise, King Dodonpa on the TV, here to make an announcement. Now, Sonic is already a little suspicious of this Tanuki freak, what with the Panda Man's controversial past, but he claims he's just there to announce his latest race, but not just any race, a special race, to see who's the fastest. Now, Sonic's not fooled. He knows that the King's gotta be up to something, and you know who else knows that? A cool little guy called Shadow T. Hedgehog. Why's Gun got him sniffing up Dodonpa's tail? And what is he hiding from longtime frenemy Sonic? I'd put my money down on his feelings. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Because next, we gotta ask ourselves, how does this thing get hot and heavy? Well, now's a good time to introduce you jackasses to a little something called the rising action. See, the first sign that something's up is when the gang sets out on that first race and they see warp rings out on the horizon, ready to teleport them to any place on the planet, even though, as everyone knows, warp rings were banned by the Holoska Accords of 1979. Look them up. But Sonic, Shadow, they're not chicken. They keep racing, and more importantly, investigating. See, Sonic thinks that old Dodonpa is making a play for his old playground, but as Shadow reveals, the truth is not anywhere near so playful. After all, why would Dodonpa settle for retaking Crimea when he could instead take the entire world and turn it into Crimea? Now, that cues the arrival of the Speed Team, whose sworn oath to Dodonpa compels them into a high-speed chase with the Hedgehoggy duo, a chase that does result, unfortunately, in a dead KJ Apa. High on adrenaline, having just escaped certain speedy death, Sonic and Shadow find themselves alone in Shadow's gun hideout, at which point, we give the fans what they've been craving to see from those two for years. Now, hold on, my phone that I already had in my hand started buzzing. Hold on. Hello? No, I'm doing it right now. Yeah, What? Okay, fine, I'll call you back. 1 second. Okay, so, because apparently some libcucks have got Twitch over here in a woke hold, I cannot give you guys an exclusive preview of the frauding sequence, so I'll just go over some key details really quick. First, we will be working with the MPAA to keep it PG-13. It will be a true expression of their love. It will be uncomfortably cheesy. And for the prudes out there who still need reassurance, it will last for only 20 minutes of the film's 207-minute runtime. That's not even 10%. 10% is meaningless. Whatever. That's all out of the way. How about we move on? In fact, let's skip ahead a little bit to the part of the movie where we all blow our loads, which, fun fact, is Latin for climax. Picture this. It's the end of the final race. The Speed Team has taken the field. King Dodonpa at their head, but Sonic and Shadow, in a display of incredible teamwork, knock those stupid sons of bitches out one at a time. Finally, it's just Dodonpa, the Blowjob Brothers, and an extremely affordable desert location. They're in the home stretch. They're approaching the final warp ring. Dodonpa pulls ahead. I said Dodonpa pulls ahead. There we go. Only for Sonido to execute the world's cleanest pit maneuver, and boom! The king is put in check. They stop to see if Dodonpa survived, but only to find there was a reason warp rings were outlawed. You see this? This is a primo example of a warp detonator, the ultimate weapon of mass destruction, possible only through warp runoff from the warp ring manufacturing process. And this one's on a countdown. Sonic and Shadow, their bodies have taken a beating. The only way they're getting out of there is with their cars, not doing it on foot, but their friends on the sidelines contact them and tell them if they just drive straight away, there is no chance of them clearing the blast radius. However, if someone were to take the bomb at full speed in one direction, leaving the other to drive the opposite way, then that might just create enough distance for driver 2 to clear the explosion, but I don't think I have to tell you what that means for driver 1. Shadow, he knows there's no time to argue. He takes the bomb, he jams it into his Dark Reaper, and he takes off at full speed, but what he doesn't realize until it's too late is that Sonic, never missing the chance to play the hero, performed a last-minute switcheroo with the bomb casing, meaning the wrong hedgehog is going to be at ground zero. Shadow, desperate to keep history from repeating itself, to keep from helplessly watching as yet another loved one dies just beyond his grasp, he turns the car straight around, but it's too late. We see Sonic driving calmly along as the countdown ticks to 0, shedding one last tear for what might have been, when detonation. Shadow, his car riding the shockwave like a ragdoll, cries out in impotent agony as the windows explode, everything becoming a cacophony of sound and pain and loss and rage and black. It's weeks later. There's a public memorial being held for Sonic the Hedgehog, headed up by Amy Rose and attended by thousands, although not, curiously, by one. Instead, the ultimate life form, the ultimate failure, stands across the street, his gaze averted, wishing only that he could turn back the clock, that it could have been him in that casket. He turns away, and as for what happens next, well, Jamie, can you pull that up? Thank you.
You know, you shouldn't keep your pistol chambered when it's not in use. Not only are you increasing the risk of an accidental discharge, you can wear out the spring more quickly, and the ambient moisture can seep into your ammunition over time. If I wanted help with weapon maintenance, I'd have called you to ask. What? No hello for an old friend? I'll let you know as soon as one shows up. Look, now's not really a good time. I heard. My condolences. Only, if what I've heard is correct, then what I'm here to tell you makes no sense. What? Speak plainly, David. I've no time for your games. Oh, I think you'll have time for this one. After all, if what I've heard is correct, then Sonic the Hedgehog is still alive.
I will now be taking questions.
Let's talk about how long it took.
Round of applause.
Let's talk about how long it took for you to name a single woman.
Oh,
I don't
that's
think.
true.
Well,
So, here's the thing. Women had to be canceled so I could fit this under 10 to 11 minutes.
I see. That makes sense. I understand. I was
Outside
gonna
of-
ask.
Yeah, outside of kayfabe, there was originally going to be a role for Amy in this movie, and I was going to make a joke about casting Emma in it as like the best Amy I knew, but eventually I realized Amy kept getting like sidelined in the plot because that was I couldn't lose the frauding sequence. Sorry, Studio One.
That one Game Awards thing that's like we were going to put a woman at the Game Awards, but we didn't know any.
Or the classic throwback, we went through binders full of women video game characters.
Now,
liked
Theo, I have an important question. Oh, Andrew, yes, you.
I like the appearance of Captain Falcon at the end of that. We all definitely saw a silhouette of Captain Falcon, correct? Certainly
Yeah,
wasn't
of course.
someone else, because that would throw things off maybe for later things in the timeline. I like
we don't know
seeing
who that is.
Captain Falcon there.
I think that was Big Boss. I believe that's the.
We have no. That was actor David Hayter. Did you not?
Exactly.
That was a real man.
That was Steve from Minecraft. You know Steve?
That Theo, fantastic job. One of my
Loved it.
foundational questions here. So you have a lot here. You mentioned Sonic's friends, and you mentioned that you had to cut some things. Can you run down a list outside of Amy, who we now know was there? Run me down a list of actors who are in this, characters who are in this, and give me a one-word synopsis of what, or 5 words. Give me a short sentence for what they're doing.
Give me a paragraph. Give me a fucking essay. Here's where you've got me over a barrel. Is that basically like the only actors I know offhand are like people who have been in Marvel movies, not because I like
Valid.
Marvel movies, but because I don't watch enough movies.
Hey, Theo, got you over a barrel just like Sonic and Shadow did each other.
Wait, what?
Tell us more about
I mean,
that.
if I had to try and pick some off the dome, and these potentially be bad picks, I apologize. Tails, I know he has to be a little boy, but Timothée Chalamet, I'm sorry, he's got the actor heat right now. I think he'd bring a certain sweet innocence. And I think he needs something low key after Marty Supreme because Jesus fucking Christ. Don't worry though, we would have a scene of him and Sonic playing ping pong, so he could continue to justify the 6 years of ping pong study he did for that movie. Amy, I said Emma. Rouge the Bat, that's a tough one. I mean, the cheap Gooner, I think like the cheap Gooner choice would probably just be Scarlett Johansson, but I feel like we could probably run some testing. We could see, we could do some focus group testing to see who's better.
Is Rouge Asian?
I mean, no, she's Latina. That's partly, but we got to pick someone with range. Who else is in Sonic? We got Eggman. Maybe we'll do a double casting with Dave Bautista. Really get him to prove his chops.
If no one else has a second question, I actually have another question here. Unless anyone else has another question.
I've got one from the chat, and then I have one from me.
Please
Go for it.
So the thing that I think was really interesting, like I was looking, thinking about the politics of it all, the way that we're kind of examining King Donga as a Crimean war criminal, and the politics angle there I think is really fascinating. And so I think my question for you is, who tops?
Between Sonic and Shadow? But that's a dumb question. Sorry, clearly between those two. I think Shadow is like the dom in everyday like interactions, but I think that means he then likes to bottom in his most intimate moment.
Thank you.
The other side.
Thank you. This answers my questions.
Excellent. Wait, was there only one question? I thought you said there was another question.
There's a question from chat. Mac asks, what's the Cage score of this film?
Oh, my Cage rating. For those in the chat who don't know, on my Letterboxd, after I opened a Letterboxd account specifically to track me and my wife's attempts to watch the entire filmography of Nicolas Cage, and every movie I tracked how good I thought the movie was, and also how good I thought Nicolas Cage was. And then I just started doing that for every movie I saw, usually off of a vibe of how badly I would want to see Nick Cage in that movie or how good I think he would be in it. In this movie, actually, fuck, I want to take back. We're not double casting Dave Bautista. Nick Cage is going to be Eggman, and he's going to kick the shit out of anti-vaxxer Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey's an anti-vaxxer?
No.
Yeah, dude, did you not know this?
OG.
No.
I mean, Jenna McCarthy was the OG. But
You're right, but he wasn't. He was.
But Jim Carrey was not far
before
behind.
It was cool.
I
Yep.
didn't know that. That's
So-
depressing.
What characters were cut from the frauding scene in particular? There had to be some extra
Oh, there was-
hands and or genitals involved in this situation, right?
Hands,
we got a
mouths,
tight
feet.
stream. We got a
Those two.
tight stream.
Yeah, we have to keep moving. Theo, thank you so much for presenting. Everyone, please give Theo a round of applause.
Thank you very much. I need to undo this fucking horrific amalgam I have on my desk right now. I don't know how well this is coming through.
We'll
Not
post
in
a
the
picture of
slightest.
what you've done because it's absurd. But
I have my regular keyboard on top of a laptop in front of my 2 monitors.
Normally when I describe something coming through poorly in video, I say it's like a PowerPoint presentation, but your PowerPoint presentation was like a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm not sure how to communicate that.
it was crazy. We should have made Theo go later because now Jeff,
How
you're
do you
the only
follow that
person
up?
I could imagine who could follow Theo's presentation. Are
Great.
you ready? Do you have everything you need?
I'm born ready. I've never been more ready for anything in my life. Let me know when we are queued up.
Queued up, ready to go.
I'm here to tell a story about a different kind of hero. You know, we heard some great stories of heroism and racing and sacrifice, and I'm here to tell you a different kind of hero story. This is a movie about one of the OGs, the original heroes of video games. This is a little film entitled My Name is Game & Watch, a New York City fable. The film was directed by Noah Baumbach in the vein of his films Francis Ha and The Squid and the Whale and Marriage Story. It will have a full acoustic soundtrack by Amy Mann. For a full multimedia experience, I recommend you pull up the album Mental Illness and listen as I present.
Pause.
You
I'm
didn't
not-
lose your slideshow, by
Jeff,
the way.
we have
whenever-
lost
Oh,
you
no.
and the
Slides.
slideshow.
How did you lose me in the slideshow?
Did
Hold
you
on.
close
No,
Video
what did you
Ninja
do?
by chance?
My
No, I'm
room
here.
is really big. You might have gotten lost.
I'm here.
Nope.
Why did I? Hold on.
Did you close Video Ninja?
No, I've
You're
got
at
Video
home,
Ninja open.
imagine a
everyone
Game
is-
and Watch style, old timey like.
Everyone
screen
is
here.
now gone.
Your slideshow
Okay.
is back.
But now everybody's
for
doubled. Hold on.
me.
Do, 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 do,
Do not
Okay.
worry. Do not worry.
Jeff,
I
you have
muted
to
the-
turn your slideshow 90 degrees because it's 2D.
That's fair. You know what? That's valid. Okay. Am I back?
Let me see.
Yes,
I
you
might
are
need
back
to send
and your thing
Andrew
is back
your
too.
links quickly. Click and click.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, cool. No, they're already there. Awesome.
Okay. If I click this, am I still here?
Yes.
If I click this, am I still here?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Fantastic.
I'm just gonna start
Yeah.
clean.
Start
Gamers,
clean.
we just heard an incredible story of heroism, and I'm here to tell a story about a different kind of hero. One of the original figures in gaming, one of the original heroes that brought us all joy. This is a film called My Name is Game & Watch, a New York City fable. The film's going to be directed by Noah Baumbach, in the vein of his films The Squid and the Whale and Francis Ha and Marriage Story. It is a story about life, a story about love, a story about the big city. It will feature a full acoustic soundtrack by Amy Mann. For a multimedia experience for you at home, I recommend you pull up the album Mental Illness and just hit play and listen as I present. I would pull it up here, but I'm not getting our asses copyright struck for this bit. And most importantly, the film is going to be set not in a fantastical location, but in a little place called New York City. And before you ask, yes, it's not just a setting. It's also a character.
Boo.
It's time for us to meet our protagonist. It's time for us to meet our Mr. Game & Watch. Phil Game & Watch, played by the incomparable Paul Giamatti, is a 52-year-old single dad living in Brooklyn. He works construction after he dropped out of college, doing renovations to the New York City Aquarium while trying to balance life and fatherhood and that feeling in the pit of his stomach that maybe his dreams have slipped through his fingers. I should note, I've used video game graphics for this. Please note that this is entirely a live-action film. Do not picture video game graphics. This is a live-action black and white production continuing onward.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's son, Tyler Game & Watch, played by the incomparable Gaten Matarazzo, is a 17-year-old with dreams of being a chef. Ever since Phil's divorce, he takes care of his father as much as his father takes care of him, even as he begins to take those first furtive steps into adulthood. And every day on the job, as he works this construction job, Phil goes and he eats in front of the large octopus tank. He sits and he looks at this octopus floating in the tank and he wonders, Is this octopus that's trapped in this tank the prisoner? Or is the real prisoner, Phil Gaiman Watch, sitting on the outside, trapped by the obligations of everyday life? By day, he works construction, and by nights, Phil attends night classes at the Adult Learning Annex, where he sheepishly avoids sharing the poems that he writes about his life, his dreams, his regrets. And it's there where he meets a woman by the name of Cynthia Weetrainer, played by, of course, the incomparable Catherine Keener. Cynthia, a fellow divorcee, she teaches a yoga class also at the Adult Learning Annex, and the two literally bump into each other after their classes happen to let out at the same time and kind of awkwardly, charmingly hit it off. We get a proper meet cute. And, you know, much of the film from here is just them walking the streets of Manhattan, you know, the Big Apple, the City of Lights, trying to figure out if second acts are real or if they're just something that they made up for the movies. Now, while these two are getting to know each other, controversy is coming into the life of Phil Gaiman Watch when Tyler is contacted by his mother, Melissa Packman, formerly Melissa Gaiman Watch, played by the incomparable Patricia Clarkson. Phil's college girlfriend, his ex-wife, she has brought an opportunity to Tyler that's going to turn his world upside down. You see, Melissa Packman's husband, Roger Packman, played by the incomparable John C. Reilly, has connections at a prestigious cooking school in Paris and has organized a sort of scholarship cooking event. And they have an invite to this event for Tyler. And he's a good cook. He's been cooking for years. He has a chance at not just proving his skill to a room of people, but going across the sea to live his dream. But living his dream at the cost of leaving his father behind to do so. What's he going to do? What choice is he going to make? As things are happening with Tyler, Cynthia is approached by Paul, the writing teacher at the Adult Learning Annex, played by the incomparable Mark Ruffalo, who approaches Cynthia with some copies of Phil's poems. He believes in Phil's writing. He sees it week after week, and he knows there's something special here. And he knows that Cynthia and Phil have a connection, and he wants to see if there's a way that she can help encourage him to pursue this art, this piece of him that for some reason he seems so resistant to embrace. Phil's life is about to change. He's got a new romance. His son is about to leave home. All of those certainties, the things that made him feel like that octopus in the tank, suddenly they're gone, and he is left floating in an open ocean, and he's scared. Who wouldn't be? And which is why the next news that comes to him is all the more shocking. You see Cynthia, the woman that he's starting to like, can he dare say the words? She has taken some of his poems and she's submitted them to a prominent New York literary magazine. And even worse than doing this behind his back is the fact that they liked them. They really like them. They're going to publish some of his work in an upcoming issue, and they've invited him to give a poetry reading. He's furious. He didn't ask for this. He didn't want this. He didn't ask for her to get involved. He didn't ask for her to do this. All of this explodes because he realizes if he goes in public and he reads a poem, it means he really wants to be a poet, and he can't go back to that because he left that life behind a long time ago. He buried that part of his dreams, and how dare you bring it back to him? All of this explodes at the cooking entrance exam that Tyler is having, which is exacerbated by the fact that the dish that Tyler is preparing is takoyaki, octopus balls. Phil is watching this octopus get chopped into bits, and he is watching his son make the choice to leave, and he is facing the reality that his dreams might not be as far as he thought they are. He explodes, he yells at Cynthia, he storms out, and we've hit our emotional low point. He calls a cab. He tells Cynthia, "You do not come with me. You stay where you are." And he goes to the only place that he's ever felt truly seen. Back to the New York City Aquarium. Back to his fellow prisoner, the octopus. And as he's sitting there, overwhelmed with emotion, he has a realization. Octopods have 8 limbs. This octopus has 7. This octopus that's floating in front of him has been missing a tentacle this entire time. This octopus is not a prisoner. This octopus is someone that's been hurt, just like Phil. He's someone who's suffered trauma and just needed a hand to help him move forward. Being in this tank, seen, cared for, loved in spite of everything, that's not punishment. That's love. To be surrounded by people who care. Can you really call that punishment? Phil, like this octopus, like every person in the big, broad city of dreams that is Manhattan, is being given a second chance. A chance at reinvention. A second act. And he just has to take it. It's okay for this octopus to accept love, just like it's okay for Phil Game & Watch to accept love and to accept change in his own life. Phil knows what he has to do. He has his moment of clarity. He thanks the octopus for, oh gosh, for everything, and walks off, changed forever. He tells his son, he tells Tyler, you go to school where you need to go to make your dreams happen. I want better for my son than I had, because isn't that what every parent wants at the end of the day? We see him give his poetry reading. Nobody shows up, but that's okay. It's a poetry reading. Afterwards, Cynthia runs up. They have their big climactic kiss, and that's when we, the viewer, realize this is not the end of Phil Game & Watch's story. It's just the beginning. Because after all, no story ever ends. Not in the city that never sleeps. We roll credits. We close the movie. But wait, there's more. Afterwards, Phil comes home. His landlord, Julius Masterhand, is waiting for him, played by the incomparable Judd Hirsch. To let him know maintenance is just in his apartment fixing up the pipes. Hey, do you know this guy, Mario? He said he had something for you, some kind of letter. Looks like Phil Game & Watch is off on a whole new adventure. And that is My Name is Game & Watch, a New
Jesus
York City
Christ,
fable.
Jeff.
Fantastic work. Good God Almighty, Jeff. That was a wonderful performance. Thank you so much for a dramatic story, for such twists and turns. Now, Jeff, I have one question to kind of open up here. I know you said that this is all live action, totally.
Yes.
Is the Game & Watch effect done by practical effects, or is it a CGI situation that's happening as well?
Oh, there are no Game & Watch effects. He is simply they are real people. This is all real people.
Oh, you're putting Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti is here in front of us.
Is
that
it
was
a
pretty
full
clear,
kind of...
Riley.
I've got a second question. Is New York a real city?
No.
It's a real city. It's not a real sports team.
Okay, perfect.
I do need to
So
follow
I do.
that up.
Sorry,
as
Andrew first.
Well, we're not going to be able to go to New York City. We don't have the rights to that. Is it cool if this is New Donk City?
Only can we confirm if New Donk City would be not just a setting, but also a character?
Yeah, it's the city that never leaves.
It's the city.
I'll see what I can do. Just for you, Mr. Jeff Stormer.
Because it's important to me that it's not just a setting, but a character. It's real important. The movie falls apart if we don't have it as a setting and also a character.
I just want to point out the character in New York didn't show up once except for just the place that they were in. I just think that's important.
I mean, Riley, their absence is what is so important.
It's
like,
there in the background. It's in the background of every scene. It's in the background of every interaction. It's
Like
them on
like
the
a signal.
subway. It's them getting a pretzel. It's them
like-
walking by.
So, Jeff Stormer, would you call this a polyamorous ending with New York City and the octopus?
You know
Who
what?
has seven hands?
I mean, isn't every relationship in New York City a little bit polyamorous? Isn't
Jeff,
every city a love
I don't know
story
that
with the
much
city
about
itself?
New York City.
That's why my granddad doesn't want me to go to the big city like that.
It's true.
So I have a question over here. Director, Mr. Director. Wait, you're not the director. Fuck it. So we've established the tone for this movie, and I think it's a great tone. This is a really good genre. I think Paul Giamatti as Game & Watch, beautiful. But we are establishing this as the lead up to a crossover.
Correct.
It has Smash in the name. They're fighting.
Yes, correct.
Is there going to be any foreshadowing for like Paul Giamatti having some sort of combat capability, or is he going to have to learn in real time?
I think
Like, once he
the
gets
movie.
older?
I think the movie speaks for itself in that regard. I think this is the story of a man going to an adult learning annex and learning to write poems and realizing that his dreams are not as far. That's for another director and another time to figure out the rest of it. I don't,
Of course, of
that's.
course.
I'm here for art and I'm here to make an art for grown-ups. I don't give a shit what you do with the rest of this.
He hasn't done anything but fight his whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Andrew.
Wow.
Thank
That's
you.
actually so right, Andrew. I should have caught on to that.
Oh, now that King Commoner in chat bring up something interesting. This is kind of an artistic note from our box, from the guys we got on set. Would you consider turning Giamatti into a PNG tuber like depiction as a way to emphasize that he does not feel truly present in the world?
Interesting. Really, really interesting. I did consider a version of this where we saw Game & Watch, where it was animated until it was revealed that it was all Phil Game & Watch reading one of his short stories, but it didn't make it. It didn't make it into the final presentation.
I think we might need to revisit that copy.
This
How
is
does
Noah
he gain his
Baumbach,
powers?
not Charlie Kaufman, right? Like
Correct.
that's
That is, yeah. I think that is that is, no joke. Originally, the director was Charlie Kaufman, and I realized as a movie with divorced guy energy that also was going to jack off the city of New York, it needed to be Noah Baumbach.
You're so right. You're so right. All right, Jeff. Does anyone have any final questions for the Mr. Jeff Stormer, writer of My Name Is Game & Watch?
I'm excited
You're
for
a
the
true
Landlord
artist.
to be revealed to be the big villain of the entire
Yeah.
franchise.
We've established Judd Hirsch is the final boss of the crossover. He's the fucking Thanos from the original like Avengers stinger.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. We're going to keep moving across to our clock. Next on the
God.
list here, we have Fleur. Are you ready to kind of take us down your journey here?
So you really put me right after two of the big emotional hitters.
That we need to kind of set people up. Like you are the slide that the rest of us are gonna get on, and someone had to take the hit.
So what Riley is saying is that my presentation isn't this high budget thing like some of our other pitches here are. It's down to earth. It's from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Not every slide even has images. This is your everyman's film. Okay?
Are you ready? You're locked in. The screen's up.
I'm
Walk us down.
almost locked in. So while I was getting ready for this movie, I decided I wanted to truly embody the character. So as you can see, I've got my own little closet Donkey Kong cosplay to try and get in the mind of the character. Now, I don't have any bananas, but I do have Mike's Hard Lemonade, which is yellow,
That's
and
a
I can
banana.
eat it and make bad decisions about it. So let's get this underway.
Hell yeah.
Can you imagine Mike's Hard Banana Aid?
God.
I would sue them myself. I would launch that class action.
All right. So my pitch for the movie of the summer is the Donkey Kong Revenge Quest buddy cop slapstick road trip blockbuster of the year. So, we open on a Donkey Kong arcade cabinet. No one in sight. Furious button mashing, good gameplay, and scores getting high. But our off-screen hero fails, gets a game over, and slamming of the buttons. The high score screen flashes. Nowhere even close. Nowhere close. Off-screen, we hear our protagonist screaming and breaking things. Still camera trained on the game cabinet. Off-screen further, we hear a voice. Billy, dinner's ready. Are you still playing your game? The breaking stops. The camera, a diegetic hand cam recording the gameplay, is picked up. We briefly see our hero's hand before the screen goes dim. We then follow Billy's sad video gaming life. We, the audience, watch a montage from Billy's perspective as he goes through his daily life. We don't see him, we only see what he sees. Wake up, eat breakfast, play Donkey Kong, head off to work at your job where you sell diet supplements to the elderly. Play Donkey Kong on his phone during lunch. He's not even getting Scammer of the Month award. He goes home. It's terrible to his wife. He has an unappetizing dinner for an unappetizing life. You aren't supposed to sympathize with this protagonist even a little bit. But who is this man? We still haven't seen him. We know his name is Billy. The camera pivots to a TV showing the documentary King of Kong, a 2006 masterpiece about those vying for the Donkey Kong world record. A remote is pressed and the camera pivots to a smart tablet showing a video about someone cheating at Donkey Kong and their failed attempts to prove it. The tablet cover is closed and the camera pivots again to an opening statement in a courtroom where someone's being accused of defamation by video game record company Twin Galaxies. Still, our protagonist is unnamed. A page is flipped. We see a foggy mirror. Our hero goes to wipe it. The record holder is. The cheater is. The defendant is. The voices coalesce. And we find our protagonist as he wipes through the mirror. Billy Mitchell joins the battle.
No.
In. Well, okay. We couldn't quite get Billy Mitchell to play himself in the movie. He called our lawyers and said it was defamation. So we've been making the movie in secret with someone else. So we got the next closest looking person on Earth, and I think we did damn good. Introducing Jared Leto.
No! No!
Boo. Boo.
In the Donkey Kong.
Oh my god!
So, we've got sumptuous costumes. Big name actors.
This is strong enough.
We've got interviews with the cast, starring Jared Leto as Billy Mitchell and Donkey Kong. Quote, I spent hours of my life Konging on Koopas in the original arcade game. Starring Danny DeVito as Diddy Kong. I'm just realizing I put the images wrong. His quote, I prepared for the role by reading every single Donkey Kong fan fiction on Archive of Our Own to really get in the mind of the character. I made sure they added a kissing scene, but I forgot to play the games. Featuring Scarlett Johansson as Trixie Kong and every remaining character, especially Asian women. She quotes, I got really inspired by super high school level imposter acting as Byakuga Togami in Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, my favorite game. I now want to become everyone, and I've made good progress. And a little fun fact for the fans at home and those on IMDb, Elvis Presley plays the original Donkey Kong in the movie. He died while on set and delayed filming by several decades. So, in the trailer, you can see some fantastic action-packed scenes. We've got a scene where they use a barrel as a car. We've got a scene where Diddy Kong explains in earnest detail that most Donkey Kong games are horrifically racist in their jungle levels. He's tried to bomb Nintendo about it several times. We've got a scene where the two of them play Mario Kart Double Dash as their characters and then make out. And we've got a scene where Billy sees a beautiful woman and his hair grows up into the DK swirl with a spring. So, everyone here loved Tim Allen's classic film, The Santa Claus, right?
No.
And the other two.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
It's just like that.
For Billy Mitchell?
So, movie world building lore. Donkey Kong is real, but it's Ryuk from Death Note rules, though. You can't see him unless you believe that Donkey Kong is real.
That's not how Ryuk works.
I am the one leading the presentation, please.
I don't think that's what the Santa Claus works either.
He targets people via the Donkey Kong. The way it works is going to be explained in a second, but he's going to get you. Diddy Kong is also there. That's Danny DeVito. Trixie Kong died in 9/11. So, Billy Mitchell, enraged at not being the world record holder, keeps running into Donkey Kong in real life. It is once again exactly like Ryuk from Death Note, only he can see Donkey Kong. Billy thinks it's all a hallucination. Mirage Kong glows that he will never be the best and will laugh at him forever. Taunted by these visions, he punches his Donkey Kong arcade cabinet, inadvertently falling for the Don's tricks and activating the Donkey Kong. He has freed the old Donkey Kong and must now take on the mantle. As Diddy says, you gotta break the curse or pass it on before you Kong out for good. It's exactly like Santa Claus again. But different, because we're trying to break the curse. P. Diddy explains the ropes. You got to get someone else to break your image out of malice, and the curse passes on to them. People can only see us if they like and have a relationship to us. I'm a big fan. I'm a big hit at Midwest Fur Fest, let me tell you. You have to make someone hate Donkey Kong, Billy. But everyone loves Donkey Kong. He's the leader of the bunch. You know it well. But now you're the leader of the DK group. The ghost of Trixie Kong. I died in 9/11. So, Act 1 is our sad, morosing movie up until Billy snaps. In Act 2, Billy, as Donkey Kong, and Diddy Kong try everything they can to swap over the curse. They do door-to-door salesmen. They go to Midwest Fur Fest. They watch Better Call Saul. They launch a cryptocurrency. There's YouTube ads. It doesn't work. Donkey Kong is too beloved, and they can't make anyone hate him. It's kind of a slapstick comedy road trip at this point. Act 3, the big one. We're not targeting random schmucks anymore. We're targeting the specific Smash player Junebug, famous for playing Donkey Kong pretty kind of good, actually, and confusing everyone. Billy and Diddy hatch a plan to go torment players at various Super Smash Bros. Tournaments across the United States, in hoping of passing on the curse before Billy Kong's out forever. They target Junebug because he looks the part. You see, he's got the beard, he's got the unruly hair, it's important. But the plan doesn't work, though they do spark a renaissance of DK in Super Smash Bros. Melee. The climax. Billy is nearly fully Konged out at this point. He can only eat bananas. He's about to give up and give in to the Konging. But he cries tearfully to Danny DeVito, who's nonchalantly eating a banana, when he realizes he doesn't have to break the curse if he can cheat the curse. That's what he does best. He breaks his own reflection, resetting the timer and transferring the curse back to him. He's now free to do what he wants. And he turns to Danny and he says, "This really was our Donkey Kong." And he kisses him on the mouth. And that's the end of the movie. In our post-credits scene, Billy is about to successfully break the curse by making someone really mad at Mario Party when his door rings and a letter slides through the mail slot. And that's where we leave off.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Fleur.
That's
You
art.
outdid yourself.
I'm like a little lightheaded. I'm gonna be.
Terrifying.
I just
and
took half
delightful
of
in
this in
equal
2
measure.
seconds, so I'm lightheaded too.
So I do have a question immediately.
Sure, ask me your questions.
You mentioned that this directly follows the logic of the Santa Claus. Does that mean there will also be a sequence where Donkey Kong rats out his friends for using cocaine and becomes a snitch for the government for years? Is that also a thing that we will be doing?
No, that's in the Diddy Kong prequel.
That's in the Diddy Kong prequel. Okay, cool, great.
I have questions over here.
Perfect, ask your questions.
Firstly, I'm actually cheating. I have a quick observation. You say it works like Death Note rules, but basically describe
Moving on from this question, someone else.
I have an actual question.
Anyone
as well,
else?
though. I have an actual question as well, though.
It's the actual question.
This is okay. I'll cut the observation. You were talking about the Death Note rules, and you're comparing them a lot to Ryuk. But then, is there a reason that Donkey Kong isn't instead played by Willem Dafoe? If that's the case,
Willem Dafoe doesn't have the facial hair is the main difference.
he can. Have you seen The Lighthouse?
I agree that he can, but it's about the essence.
I have an important follow-up question here.
Absolutely,
You
Riley.
So we're playing every other role in the movie. You listed
Yes.
3 of the characters, so I assume that means Scarlett Johansson's playing every other character in the movie.
Yes.
From that point, I just kind of wanted to clarify that. You've already said yes. Sick, locked in. I think that's beautiful. I can't wait to see Scarlett Johansson play a Super Smash Bros. player.
She's got the chops for it. I've seen the pre-production,
Really?
let me tell you.
Yeah, she means Ness, but it's like you can like the fundamentals are there, and like honestly, she just has to stick with like movement, and they can just put other things on like the green screen in the.
Scarlett Johansson
right?
is really good at wave dashing.
My other real question is this is very much like that Poirot Death on the Nile movie where it was like the most cancelable movie of all time. Do you think you could replace some other actors or replace maybe Elvis with a more cancelable individual or something like that, so that way we can really get our bang for the woke buck?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll tell you this. I'll cast Andrew Tate.
No!
Perfect. Great. Right.
I think
Wrap it
that
up.
Andrew, is that all the time we have for
Yeah,
Wait, I have a question.
Does
Of
Billy
course, ask me your questions,
Mhm.
Martin.
Is Billy Mitchell's famous Pac-Man cheating scandal also canon to this movie?
Yes. It is the
Okay.
real life Billy Mitchell.
Okay.
he cheated
And
on
Andrew, I
Mrs.
think you have a
Pac-Man? Does Billy Mitchell
Sorry-
have a
Sorry,
coconut gun that
correction. Do you mean
fires and
Pac?
bursts?
You mean Pac-Man?
And if it
Yes,
shoots them, will it hurt?
Yeah, so that's actually what they try and do the door-to-door selling on, is these coconut guns that misfire frequently,
Okay.
trying to draw the consumer's ire.
Got it.
That's perfect. Hey, thank you so much for your presentation, Fleur. This was a pleasure. It's truly something special that you
You
put
have
here.
to say this was truly our Donkey Kong, or I won't.
This was truly our Donkey Kong. Can I zoom?
Thank you very much.
No, I have to get. That's just me getting closer to the camera.
I have to start playing Ocean Man when you say it.
Andrew, are we ready for the next presenter?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Then in that case, hey Juliet, are you ready to follow 3 bangers for You Were Told Today You Were going to be on this stream?
No earlier than like 2 p.m. if I'm remembering correct.
Yeah. I will do my best. And what more could be asked of anyone?
What more can be asked of anyone? Juliet, I'm waiting to get word that we're putting you on screen, and once we do,
Yeah.
I am so excited. You always bring
Take it away.
something. You always make us think. You always make us consider. And I'm excited to see whatever the fuck you have brought, my friend.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So, one quick caveat, which is that German is not my first, second, or third language, but I will still do my best, which is to say, vor mir keine Zeit nach mir wird keine Sinn, mit mir gebührt sie sich, mit mir geht sie auch ein. Or in other words, before me there was no time, after me there will be none, with me it is born, with me it will also die. Naturally, of course, from Daniel von Chepko's Secenta Modidistica Sapientum, the third, from 1655.
Of course, we all know this.
Yeah, naturally. Which we follow up with a record scratch because I'm. Oh, hey, that's me. I'm sure you're wondering how I ended up here.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my God.
We rewind back to the beginning, to being invited to join this mysterious fighting tournament, to learning the one lesson everyone has to learn: how to fight. Right? This is the lesson everyone has to learn. This is the lesson of the movie. We're learning this. We're in the boxing. We're in the sword fighting. We're in the gunning. It all happens. Over the course of the tournament, we see me defeat many foes in combat. From old reliables like Sam. They're good jokes in here. I'm not going to read all of them. You can read them. They're fun.
All good jokes. I want to emphasize all really good jokes.
God.
That last one is, of course, a "You've Got Mail" quote from the cock. Anyways, have you ever had a caviar garnish? How do you sleep at night? Nevertheless, we see me defeat each of these foes over and over again, each round, knocking the next one down until he defeats all comers. And then he's slammed back down again, back where he began, to begin the story again. And we're 30, 40 minutes into the movie at this point. And so it's a big change of pace when we get a late title card for the title of this movie. Why Don't You Like Me Anymore? So now faced with the tournament again, me has to answer a question. Does it feel good to fight? Is there a point to fighting against other people and and sure, you might win or they might win, but what is it ultimately about if you're just going to be knocked back down to where you started to have to fight again? Maybe it felt good to win the first time, but does it feel good to win again? Does it feel good to fight? So naturally, this movie has 2 acts, and it has 2 lessons. The first being how to fight, and the second being not to fight. And this really sinks in, and when we're all like emotionally with it, and like, wow, this movie has everything. Ultimately, what we're talking about here is Super Smash Bros, right? But the question that we'll always be asking is, or the answer that we have, sorry, it's the bros that make us super, not the Smash.
Damn.
And as this sinks in, as we reflect on what we have and what we don't have, we encounter that maybe there actually is a third act to this all along. We've spent all this time learning to fight and all this time fighting. Then we've spent all this time litigating what a fight should be with one another. Should we fight one another? Can we find solidarity? Can we find a kind of peace? Can we find a kind of nonviolence? But then, like, ultimately, you do sometimes encounter a point of nonviolence where you go, like, that's really, really important for establishing solidarity between people. But, like, are there limits to this? Which is, I think, a question that we can answer in this big ultimate third act, which is who to fight. In Ursula K. Le Guin's seminal science fiction novel, there's this really great question asked by King Argivan of Karhide, through Genli I, through the Ansible, to the Stabiles of the Ecumen. The question of what makes a man a traitor. And the Stabile of the Ecumen, of course, says, I do not know what makes a man a traitor. No man considers himself a traitor. This makes it hard to find out. You should read this book, by the way. It's really good. But this really maybe points to, I don't know, maybe something behind the curtain, more Claudius than Polonius, more. Oh, hey, that's interesting. The left hand of darkness.
The landlord. Got to beat the shit out of Judd Hirsch.
Who is it that set us up to fight to begin with? Who was it that literally selected our options in the cursor menu? Who was it that slammed us back down to Earth in the end? Of course, we don't need to fight each other. We need to fight the master hand, right? Like this is the big third act. You have first act, fighting each other. Second act, learning from one another. Third act, actually our forces together, maybe we can defeat the master hand. I think that's like a really fun, 3-act sort of thing. And then, here's the problem. Like, everyone is familiar with the idea of the demiurge, right? This figure who has, for lack of a better word, created and propped up our world and lords over it. And you can defeat a demiurge in a lot of senses, in a lot of places, but is it always like? Oh, I don't know. As they say, let not your left hand know what your right hand is doing. The animating principle of the master hand is the invisible hand of the market, where limited liability corporations have intellectual property and can sue individuals into servitude or oblivion. But if you defeat the master hand, do you have anything animating you at all? I think it's a worthwhile reminder that this movie, like all pieces of cinema and literature can be, which is that inside every one of us is a hero. Wait, I'm sorry. Inside every one of us is a skeleton.
What?
Naturally, Sans Undertale was introduced to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on September 4th, 2019 as part of round 3 of the DLC with the version 8.1.0 software update. Thank you. And while there are 4 acts to this movie, there is one ultimate lesson. All of the other things aside, to dust we will return if we are lucky. Because what is Super Smash Brothers to begin with? I'm pulling on the scholarship of Jordan Stokes. If you read his 2009 paper on this particular thing, it really influenced me back in the day. I think we'll definitely give him a credit in the credits, with the idea that we know that Super Smash Brothers is the playing of toys. And what is it for toys to lash out at the hand that is puppeting them? Here we have, people acting in the movie, but what is it for them to lash out against the hand puppeting them? What do you get after you've defeated the master hand? Well, all the strings are cut, all the puppets fall to the ground. And this is why the presence of the demiurge is both a windmill to tilt after, but also a memento mori in a real way, which is to say that, like, you can get existential with it, but be careful who you target, because ultimately you might need something to continue to puppet you. And I think, of course, naturally, with that opening, I will need to end with the conclusion, and this is what the ending of the movie will be. It will be dissatisfying, I think, in an intentional way, that we have really great action fighting scenes. We have really interesting, like, easy popcorn movie tearjerker pull on your heartstrings. We've got maybe like a dream ballet sort of equivalent situation as we end. But then what is the movie goer going to see as they sit? They're going to see this, of course. Freund, es ist genug, im Fall du mehr willst lesen, so geh unwerde selbst die Schrift und selbst das Wesen. Friend, this is enough. Should you wish to read more, go and yourself become the writing, yourself the essence. Because this is a movie people are going to see, people are going to argue about, people are going to this is going to be not a movie everyone's going to love. They're going to say, why does it? But they're going to be talking about it, because the important part of the movie is that they carry this with them when they go. And that's what everyone wants from their major motion picture intellectual property blockbuster, right?
Absolutely.
I would love to hear any. I don't think anyone will have any questions, but any questions that
I
anyone
have
has.
questions. Don't fucking
Yeah, there's
speak
some
for me. I have
questions. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'd love to hear some questions.
Theo,
So-
you spoke first, please.
Yeah, no, out of sheer offense at saying I wouldn't have a question. You didn't get quite as deep into casting, for which the natural response would be, well, who would you cast in this movie? But I think I want to go for the less obvious question. Let's say that this is being casted like a Safdie Brothers film, and at least one of these roles has to be a non-actor in the movie. Who are you
Okay.
casting? Who's your stunt casting?
Okay, the first answer is I'm like really, really tempted towards Harry Shum Jr. because I think he absolutely should be in more, this kind of like fun action comedy leading man roles. I do think, unfortunately, his appearance in Everything Everywhere All at Once, though, will like cause people to, maybe compare the movies a little bit more than I would like. So you maybe have to find someone else. Can we bring Hikaru Nakamura in, perhaps? World number 2.
The fucking chess guy?
Yeah, you asked for someone who
No, I mean,
isn't a movie actor, right?
no, admittedly, at first I thought you were talking about the fucking guy who wrote 1Q84, because I forgot that name.
Haruki Murakami.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Love that book.
Yeah, I got my wires crossed. That was entirely on me.
Yeah,
That's really good.
I'm sure there are no other questions though. But
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
This question is that your 3-act structure of fighting each other, learning from each other, then confronting the true enemy.
Mhm.
I think a couple people in chat pointed out that this perfectly mirrors the structure of a communist revolution. What do you have to say about the collected works of Vladimir Lenin?
I was pulling from more. I was thinking about intersectional feminist scholars when I first was working.
Such as
On
Vladimir
this
Lenin. You're
thing.
dodging the question.
Juliet, I actually
You know-
have a secondary question
Yeah.
here.
I think we could do a title card with what is to be done, and like we could add a passage here. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Juliet, real quick, this was pointed out in the chat by one Sea Excursion, our mutual friend Caro here. You brought up Master Hand, the landlord that we've seen before, as the I believe. Did you say the left hand of darkness? That was a right hand. What say you?
Oh, that's interesting now that you mention it, because we're gonna end on this just literally these words on the screen for like at least a minute, if not several minutes, and then we're gonna roll credits. And then after rolling credits, then we find out that
Fuck you!
Crazy Hand
Did you put a fucking stinger in your
feature-
presentation?
Crazy Hand will feature as one of the antagonists of the Subspace Emissary.
Love it.
Christ.
Now that's a left hand of darkness.
That hey, you know what Juliet said? They said let not the left know what the right is doing in the
Foreshadowing.
Wow.
Literary device.
Wow.
I think it's good
Juliet.
to like bookend the existentialism and then also be like, oh, but can we just like let's put a little teaser for the next movie.
That was
funny.
That was beautiful. Fantastic work. Thank you so much, Juliet.
Incredible movie.
This was
Thank you, Andrew.
fantastic.
That is the real ending of this.
Oh, this has been a great stream so far with some wonderful presentations from everybody. And don't worry, I see someone in chat saying that they missed Juliet's. Do not worry. This one's going to be a VOD. We will remember to get this one. We will get it uploaded. We are going to save this. Though the idea of doing these as like ephemeral works that disappear into the void is kind of goes crazy.
It would be really funny.
It's like if you have
It's
to
high
catch
art.
a Moonshot pitch stream live or else you ain't seeing it.
Part of mine might get muted, but if it does, I'll just dub over it. It's cool.
Horrifying, Marn. Horrifying.
Don't worry.
Oh, this has been fantastic. Like it came up in chat earlier. We've seen different pitches from so many different people. We've seen art house films. We've seen emotional tearjerkers. We have seen comedic shitpost films. And I know that like I know I have a different idea of what's going on next. And so I want to turn to Marn now. And Marn, do you know what you've got coming down the pipeline?
I absolutely do. So I would like to begin my presentation by asking.
Let me make sure Andrew has got the thing up really quickly.
We're good.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Rock
I
and
think.
roll.
So for people who are in like the book publishing world, comp titles are all the rage. It's where you like pitch something by comparing it to a couple other things. So with that in mind, I would like to ask you, which of us here are familiar with the critically acclaimed manga The Fable?
Hello?
Go on.
Yo, okay.
Hello?
I would also like to ask, who here is familiar with critically acclaimed television show Barry?
Okay.
Marn, but I recognize the background you have there.
I'm listening.
Furthermore, who is familiar with the television show Community?
I'm not liking where this is going.
I'm loving where this is going.
Community's moving to A?
And last but not least, a little show called Seinfeld.
Now, this one I'm not
Okay.
familiar with. Can you summarize it?
This is like
Hello.
Community 1.
Oh, it's
Hello,
like the
my
importance of
name
being
is Marn
earnest.
last name, and
Oh,
I am
got it, like
here
Community,
to
got
pitch to you
But New York is a character.
the 9-episode Animal Crossing animated TV show.
I've been like glass, secondhand like glory. Missed the bus, but I'm in no hurry. Molasses fast, no business born. 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot getting deeper. Crank it to 11, blow another speaker in. I ain't got much to lose. I've seen better days. I've been star of many plays. I've seen better days. better days. I know that I've seen better days. I've been the star of so many plays. I walked on the edge with that hobo wave. Cause I know that I've seen better days.
Welcome to my pitch for New Leaf, an Animal Crossing story, a 9-episode animated miniseries spectacular. This is inspired by all of the things that I said before, and also the art of Animoutsing at tumblr.com, who draws really lovely Animal Crossing art of a human-sized villager and like little Muppet-sized like Animal Crossing guys. This is like my ideal art style for what this would be. I have begun with some writing tenets for this show. I have gone in with 4 writing tenets. Every resident and visitor has a rich interior life. There is a world outside the island. We just don't get to see it for ourselves. It is often referenced. The characters all have backstories. Failure is an acceptable resolution for plot lines as long as it's funny or the characters learn something. Life is not always perfect on the deserted island. Chaos takes precedent to niceties in character interactions and in interactions with the island. The villagers often mean well, but are a force for chaos. Even Isabelle gets mad from time to time. The show is adult, and the show is episodic. Death exists and is acknowledged. Character developments and revelations persist between episodes. Let's talk about characters. Our main character, V, the villager, is voiced by Bex Taylor Klaus. They are a former low-ranking mob goon who needs to lay low after accidentally killing the lieutenant of a rival mob. They see an ad for the Tom Nook getaway plan and get the wrong idea. The previous human villager of this island, who was kind of like the mayor, disappeared about a year ago. And V is sort of forced into those roles by Isabelle and Tom Nook, despite relying on Isabelle for most mayoral and public relational tasks. They are good at fighting, they are good at get-rich-quick schemes, and basically nothing else. They are arachnophobic, which does factor into one of the plots later on. They arrive to the island penniless, alone, and resigned to living in a tent in the middle of nowhere. This is a completely new villager. I went into the game and made V as a character. Almost all of the footage in that video is mine. These are the island residents. We have Raymond, voiced by Jesse McCartney. Cherry, voiced by Bella Lovell, who you may know as Mermista from She-Ra. Stitches, voiced by Jeremy Shada, who is Finn the Human. Coco, voiced by Kimiko Glenn, who is, I believe she's a Broadway actress, but she's also the horse in Centaur World. Kid Cat, voiced by, of course, Johnny Young Bosch. And Audie, voiced by Kaylee Cuoco. We also have the mainstays of the island. Isabelle, voiced by Erica Henningsen. She voices the main girl in Has Been Hotel. I'm going to offer her a lot of money to get off of that project and come over here. You will see that is a running theme with some of these voice actors. I would like them to come work on my better project. Isabelle is the one actually keeping the island running. Peppy, organized and enthusiastic about public works projects. She acts as a foil to V's laziness and the residents' wacky hijinks. She gets mad at least once, and it scares literally everyone. Tom Nook is voiced by, of course, H. John Benjamin, non-negotiable or I fucking walk. He runs most of the island's real estate and DIY. He is long-suffering. V does not respect him and thinks that he is a loan shark and refuses to buy a house from him. He has a secret criminal past. We'll talk about that later. Alan Tudyk, of course, is Blathers. Curates a museum left woefully unfilled by the previous mayor. Nocturnal and agoraphobic, becomes inspired by V to go out and help and fill the collection with them. And then we have KK Slider, voiced by Donald Glover. He just kind of showed up one day and never left. It comes out in his conversations with V about life that they often have in the course of this show, that he ditched a world tour that he was on to be here. He is trying to get over burnout and learn to love music again. The show as I have it is split into 4 seasons. I have made some little notes about other voice acting choices I've made on the side. Timmy and Tommy are, of course, Laura and Sarah Silverman, just doing Andy and Ollie from Bob's Burgers again. That's all I can hear them as in my mind. We start in spring. V arrives on the island, moves in, and learns the ropes. Isabella's in manic spring cleaning mode. Stitches is also new to the island, so she sends V and Stitches into the old human mayor's house to finally clear out the storage. It is creepy and weird in there. They don't know what happened to the old mayor. Basically, she just like went out for milk one day and never came back. V steals everything in there and sells most of it for bells immediately. We also have a C plot where Raymond tries to do Tom Nook's taxes and nearly ends it all. We move on to summer. It's time for the bug off. V and Blathers make a pact to overcome their arachnophobia and try to catch tarantulas together for exposure therapy and, of course, money. V reveals to Blathers during this process that they have killed a man, and he takes it too well. We don't find out why ever. He's just cool with it. Audie ropes Coco into trying to set Flick and Cherry up on a coffee shop date. Flick is, of course, voiced by Sekai Moroshige, who voices Ryan in Season 4 of Infinity Train. Reese and Cyrus, voiced by J. Michael Tatum and Caitlin Glass, just doing Isaac and Miria from Bakano again, show up on the island to renew their vows. Isabel takes it upon herself to give them the best second wedding ever and makes herself crazy in the process. Moving on to autumn. V gets insurance scammed by Red and Lyle, voiced by Alex Hirsch and Bob Odenkirk, and has to work with Kid Cat, who is the self-proclaimed adventurer of the island, and Tom Nook to get their bells back. This also serves as an exploration of Tom Nook's criminal past, working the forgery racket with Red and their whole backstory together. The villagers, meanwhile, get ready for Halloween. Isabel and KK Slider come to blows over planning a costume party, and Coco hosts a haunted house that is too intense for everyone but Raymond, who doesn't get it. Winter. In this one we have Lloyd. I don't know which one, but I firmly believe all gyroids should be voiced by Vocaloids or Synth V. And Brewster, who is voiced by Keith David, who I am also rescuing from the Has Been Hotel mines, as I have with two of the other voice actors.
Keith David's in Has Been Hotel?
I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
he
That's
is.
long
He
enough
is
to
a
play.
main character in Has Been
He'll work for anybody if you pay him. Like,
That's
come
true.
on.
He does.
Yeah,
The man
he's
does
in
love to
everything.
cash a paycheck.
Shit, give me his number.
Winter. Audie decides to move out. She is moving to the big city to take on a job at the Label Fashion Company, Mabel and Sable's sister. Tom Nook is scrambling to fill the empty house. Everyone else is in their feelings about her leaving. And they are sort of processing this. Yes, Theo, this is secretly my effort to get Has Been Hotel canceled. Stitches discovers that V has been squatting this entire year in the former mayor's house. Please don't tell anyone how I live, etc. Isabel preoccupies herself with the construction of a new bridge in town, so V has to plan the Island Toy Day party. That's Animal Crossing Christmas, for people who don't know. The residents get too twisted at V's party, and of course immediately destroy the bridge that Isabel has spent 2 episodes funding and building. And then we cycle back to spring. The new villager is, of course, Flora. She is a cousin of Orville and Wilbur, the 2 flying dodos, who I wish I had been able to fit into this. They are voiced by any of those 2 guy SNL alums we have room in the budget for. Andy Samberg and Bill Hader, maybe, I don't know. Flora is voiced by Laura Bailey. I'm throwing the Crit Roll fans bone here. Flora has moved in. Isabel is freaking out about getting her settled. We've cycled back to the beginning of the show, but with a new resident this time. KK Slider volunteers to play it at the Island May Day celebration, but gets lost on purpose in the hedge maze instead. V has to find him, and they have a heart-to-heart about their time on the island, about the chaos of it, about making art, and about just sort of letting the world happen to you. V celebrates their 1-year anniversary on the island and finally decides to take a loan from Tom Nook for a real house of their own. As they consider various get-rich-quick schemes to pay it off, an invitation to a fighting tournament comes in the mail. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please fund my animated TV show.
Fantastic job.
Incredible.
Darn. Holy shit.
Red Seraph, I have seen the Animal Crossing movie. For people who haven't seen it, there is a animated Animal Crossing movie that has like aliens that show up in the 3rd act. It's weird.
What the fuck?
Huh.
What are you doing?
That's wild.
Fascinating. Marn, I have some questions for you. Am I not showing up? No, it's a delayed stream. That's it. I was like, where the fuck am I in that camera? Marn, My questions to you. So you invoked Barry. You said that death is present on screen.
Yes.
Will death like show up? Like who's gonna die? I think the studio wants one of these villagers to die. Who are you gonna kill?
Interesting.
Because I have a pitch if you
Now-
don't.
Kill Raymond.
Okay, so that is fascinating because in my mind, Stitches, because of the nature of him, is like losing limbs and shit constantly, but he is still alive, and it is like played as
Yeah.
a joke.
Okay, to me, I think Audie's plane goes down. No one on the island knows about it, but we do see her plane crash at the end of that episode.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought it made sense too. I just wanted to run it by you. We're gonna write that into the script.
We're doing the MASH ending where we have a whole episode saying goodbye to someone, and they're like, by the way,
Their plane blows
their plane got shot down over the Pacific.
Yeah.
We're doing the sort of reverse remember me where we have like Audie in the plane and then we see the towers appear on the horizon.
No. I just scared my fucking cat with that reaction.
And then we see Robert Pattinson standing on that.
In the window.
Can Robert Pattinson play one of the bugs?
That's a
I
good
was
idea.
thinking-
I think he would play
That's
a
real good.
great rhinoceros beetle.
I honest to God was thinking about putting Robert Pattinson in this.
The thing about your casting, Marn, is that we got through so much of this stream without double casting anyone really. And you and I don't know if we share a brain cell, but I begin to worry we share a casting director.
So here's the thing. As soon as I was like, okay, I want Kid Cat to be the cat, and I was like, well, of course Johnny Young Botch, because he's a voice actor and he was a Power Ranger.
It makes sense. No, I get it.
I did go back
What-
and forth on Raymond a lot.
I like that Roxas is here. I do like
Yeah,
that.
I think that Jesse McCarty as Raymond works. I think that he has proven that he has, because he was he's Roxas and he's Dick Grayson in Young Justice. I think that he
I
has
have-
the
He
cred.
voices most of my Blorbos.
Yeah.
I have a pivot from the outright casting questions, and this is a very small question, but this is more direction related. H. John Benjamin as Tom Nook. Maybe this is a stupid question, and it's obvious to anyone who's actually played Animal Crossing. Is he going for more, in your head, of a Bob Belcher performance or more of an Archer performance?
Bob Belcher, absolutely 100%.
Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah. Easy. Martin, I got a two-part question for you. One for me and one from my beloved wife. I'll start with my wife's question. What villager would we cast with a Vanderpump Rules cast member?
Oh fuck. Oh, that's a really hard question. I would cast I'm biased, but I would cast Stassi as someone, but I don't know who.
Okay.
Probably one of like the like sisterly villagers, but I would have to look at a list.
Okay. For my question, I know you mentioned any two guys from SNL. Can I pitch you on Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney, because they have this podcast
No.
that's really
No.
innovative. And it's-
Nope. Mm-mm. We're
Martin, I have
boycotting
a question
them
for you.
and everyone who shows up on that podcast, so we're not allowed to watch Brennan Lee Mulligan anymore. Sorry.
I
Okay,
will.
fair and valid.
I will let you in on the fact that originally my casting for them was Steve Martin and Martin Short, but I wanted to get Bill Hader in here somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Does anyone have any more questions for? Oh,
I've got one last question for Marn. Marn,
Andrew
who would you
first, and then
cast?
Fleur.
Okay.
Oh no, go
Marn,
ahead.
who would you cast? End of the question.
Fleur, then
Marn,
you
who
take
would you cast Andrew as if he had to be a villager?
Oh, a villager or like an NPC?
Gotta be like an NPC villager.
Okay,
Oh,
interesting.
because I'd say having
probably not.
Andrew as the pelican that washes up on the shore is really funny.
Oh, Gulliver.
Mhm.
I was gonna say Bob the cat because I wanted to get him in here somewhere, but I couldn't figure out where to put him in. And I
Andrew
like
is
him.
Bob the cat. Perfect.
Thank you, Marn, for that insightful answer.
Did you name the island? Is the island named?
My island in my game is named something else because it is legitimately like the island that I play on that I made like a year and a half ago. I didn't want to restart my island just for one stream.
Now I know a big part of the fable is that the main character has to really struggle not to kill again, as he's been ordered. And a big part of Barry is that, boy, he just keeps getting drawn into killing. Is our villager really struggling with the inability to kill these other people on this island?
I think we found the reason that plane went down, didn't we?
I do think that there has to be an element of like violence here is a little bit meaningless because these are like Muppet creatures, right?
Like Has Been Hotel.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Or like the Muppets. You can pick one of these guys up and throw them and they'll be okay.
I'm rearranging the letters of Animal Crossing and I'm getting Has Been Hotel. That's crazy.
Marn, for those of us in the audience who have never seen any Has Been Hotel, clearly you've seen a lot of it. Could you give us the basic rundown?
I know.
Please don't.
I know the voice cast.
Thank you so much, Marn. It has been a pleasure to have you here today. Next up on the docket, let me go through my list here. Oh, it's me. I'm next. Yip, yip, yippee.
Yippee!
Don't watch Has Been Hotel. That is not your takeaway from my presentation.
I wonder who Riley picked to make a movie about.
Yeah, this is really clear. Let me kind of walk you through this really quick. Let me open this up so I can see my
Oh,
annotations.
shit, Riley also picked Sonic. Fuck!
I know. Fuck, we didn't talk about it beforehand.
And it's
Shit.
green Sonic, and there's multiple of them.
Sonic
Legendary
and
Hero
Mr.
starts
Game
playing.
& Watch are getting coffee together?
Before time began, before spirits and life existed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaos that was Hyrule. Din, with her strong flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the red earth, carving rivers and mountains onto the world. Furor, with her rich soul, produced all life, their cities, and their culture. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and created questions for those living beings, for what is a world without wonder. But we don't need to start at the beginning. Through the ages, through the different crises that Hyrule has faced, there have been stories of a person in green making lives easier for the people in need. I'd like to bring you to my 8-episode miniseries, Legends of Hyrule.
Yeah.
Oh
Now-
my god.
Real quick, let me kind of walk you through what I'm doing here. This is an 8-episode season, 1.5 to 2 hours. We're doing long form content here. I want you to be in the mindset of like a Columbo, of a Miss Fisher, of a Murder, She Wrote, like a longer form that we are working with here. It's going to be slow. It's not going to be action packed. It's going to be cooking. So we are going to focus each episode on a different location around Hyrule. The people who aren't Link. You know what I mean? Link is a character that we all know, we all love, but I think that there's more interesting stories to tell in Hyrule. Let me tell you right now, I forgot to do jokes. This is just earnest, so I need you to lock in for that.
Okay.
Link will come in around 30 minutes into each episode. Like a Columbo, like Mad Max, you know what I mean? Mad Max isn't the main character of a Mad Max movie. That's a Furiosa, you know what I mean? He's the guy who shows up and rolls out of town. And that is Link in these stories. It's not about Link. The show's not about Zelda, Link, Ganondorf. Those aren't names that are important. You know what it is? It's about Hyrule. So let's walk through the episode list here. Episode 1, Season 1, Outset Village. Season 1, Episode 2, Ordon Village. Season 1, Episode 3, Dragon Roost Island. Episode 4, Kikariko Village. Lon Lon Ranch, Zora's Domain, The Lost Woods, and Castle Town here, all right? We're looking for bigger actors to put on these roles for each episode. It's like when you turn on a Columbo episode and you see, is that Martin Sheen? They got Johnny Cash in here? You turn on that Murder, She Wrote episode that has the guy who wrote The Devil Went Down to Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, we're going for those larger actors that are the people that the show is going to be based around, but they're not Link, or they're not Zelda, they're not Ganondorf. You know what I mean? Like, those are going to be smaller actors. Those are going to be people that aren't nearly as big in the mind. You know what I mean? So we're working from there. We're going to get into the casting. We're going to get into all this right now, actually. So first off, I want to answer your question. Who's playing Link? Who's playing Zelda? I'm just going with Nintendo's casting. I like this. I think this is good. My only note is that Link it's gonna be Shut the Fuck Up Friday. He's not going to talk. He is going to be quiet, and we're achieving that because he's not the main character. Zelda is kind of missed not appearing in this function, but you know what? Whatever. For the rest of it, we're gonna kind of go through bit by bit here. Each episode is based on a character. These are in order of their episode coming up. We'll break into it bit by bit there. So I have John Flynn as Caffey. I have written here Finn Wolfhard as young Caffey. That's not who that is. So I think I heard about the Stranger Things reaction and I took him out, but I don't know who I replaced him with. Haley Steinfeld as Anju. So that is our first there. And then for the next one, we have the Killer Bees, as you know, the roving gang of kids, which will be Ian Armitage, Bailey Bass, Aryan Samhardi, Robert Timothy Smith, and then with them is Shantra Chandran as Riju. Next up, we have Emily Rudd as Medley, and then Johnny Young Bosch as Rivali. Important to note, I am going Wind Waker Rito here. We are not doing bird people. We are doing people with beaks. And I think that's better, and you're going to have to fucking live with it. Andy Serkis is playing Darman, who is a unique Goron. We are combining some different Gorons and Goron stories here. That is not Darmani. We're doing a different thing. We have Ella Pernell as Milan. We have Jacob Elordi as Prince Sidon.
Really good.
McKenna Grace as Saria and Kira Shipka as Mido. And then Keith David as Castletown's Captain of the Guard. I'd like to thank Audrey, Lady Tabletop, for helping me as my casting director here, because I don't know that many actors. And so I was kind of opening up my movie library and going, I liked Emma. Who was the guy that was in Emma? Oh, it's that guy.
Crazy that you know more Power Rangers than you do active working actors.
No
Power Ranger
interjections.
in here. I didn't put in any of the live action 2017 Power Rangers. I was tempted to put in any of the actors who are union that were in RPM and aren't in any other Power Ranger stuff, who you might know from iZombie or the Jessica Jones show. But regardless, I kind of want to hit some key ideas here. If anyone was watching in the group chat here, you saw me editing these as Marn was going through her slideshow and adding these slides into my presentation. So people are going to be pissed if Link talks. I'm going to be pissed if Link talks. There's going to be articles about it. People are going to be like, and even when he doesn't talk in this show, they're going to be like, it doesn't make sense that Link doesn't talk. You're a fucking idiot, and I think you're stupid. He can't speak. He's got to be quiet. If you think he needs to speak, you're dumb. You're wrong. That's it. We want to explore Hyrule with this. The thing that matters about Hyrule, whenever you play a game of Zelda, it is about the people and the places. You remember Hateno Village, you remember the Kokiri Forest, you remember all these different things, and it's the NPCs that make those really shine. You never hear from Link in those, but you hear about the stories that people are engaging with down there. This isn't going to have a large overarching evil. It's not a story about like a country rebelling against the people in charge or falling to doom. None of that shit. This is basically a slice of life, and there are heightened problems that show up at these places, and Link shows up to fix them. It's going to be a little bit swashbuckling, a little bit adventure-y at some of these things, kind of Skeleton Crew Star Wars vibes. The score is going to be done entirely by Yuki Hayashi, who does the music for Haikyuu and My Hero Academia. The theme song is the opening cinematic for the Ocarina of Time, redone. You'll see the guitar hit. We'll see the Hill of Hyrule, Twilight, Sunrise, then cast characters, routines, intermittent shots of a horse with a riff on this. I don't have much more than that, so maybe everyone kind of picture the coolest thing you could see in your mind.
That's exactly what I would have put in a movie.
That's so cool.
Yeah, perf. Thanks. Let's kind of walk through.
Why are Sonic and Shadow frauding in?
And why is the sun rising while they're doing it?
Episode 1, Outset Village. You have Andrew and Kathy meeting, falling in love. These are two adults. They fall in love. They live their lives together for like 3 or 4 years. Kathy proposes to Andrew. It's beautiful. Like the wedding is gonna get set up. They're planning it together. It's going great. These are two people you've never seen more in love. And then he disappears. A missing persons is put out. Experts come in and fail to try to find him. And then suddenly rolling into the mayor's office, Kathy's mom is the mayor. Link answers all. He rolls in with the sign. We see him listening to people around the town. And he goes, he like talks his way, he like listens his way through the town, listens to these conversations, holds up the sign to people, like, is like, have you seen this guy? And then goes to the bomb shop And turns out that his homie there, I haven't cast the bomb shop guy, the curiosity shop. He's the guy there on the left. I didn't cast him. I'll figure that out. Maybe that's Danny DeVito. He finds out that Kafi has been turned into a child through some sour magics. Link is going to help get this fixed. I don't have that part of this figured out. Next up, Ordon Village. So Village this is guest writer Petra. Hello Hyrule. We riffed on this. Petra helped me figure this part out. Village on the border of the Gerudo Desert. Ordon and Gerudo Village are sister cities in a way. They're a healthy trade relationship. And they have a joint Twilight Festival. They have a festival where they celebrate together. Years ago, the sages of both these villages created a mirror that connects the two villages to make a faster travel. You walk into the mirror, you pop out the other side. When you go through that mirror, you're a little bit in like a kind of like a tunnel, a spooky tunnel of a not an upside down, but a world that isn't quite ours. The killer bees, a gang of children, have been seeing things in the corner of their vision as they go through that tunnel. They believe it to be related to the mirror, and they want to do what their parents bade them to, but they break from the path in the mirror world, all of them together, and they enter the Temple of the Twilight. They find Link in that temple, frozen in stasis, and he helps them escape before they can become seen by the evil Prince Zant. That hijinks ensue. This is kind of how they're displayed down there. Dragon Roost Island, medley of the this is guest ideas. Petra and I riffed on this one, but I just kind of like I still went with this. Medley, Dragon Roost Island delivered the wrong package to the wrong address. She has to steal it back before it's open and redeliver it to the right place, or she's gonna be in a lot of trouble. Like catches, she's delivered it to the local hard-ass Rivali. Will Link, someone who has just stumbled into town, be able to help her get it back without causing a huge issue? Great question. Next episode. Kakariko Village, Goron City. Darman is everyone's favorite person. He helps around town. This is Andy Serkis, by the way. People down in Kakariko love him. He's generally renowned. Problem is he's sick and getting sicker and doesn't want people to know. This is one of those things. Zelda's at its best when it's a little bit melancholy. And I think this is going to be a sad story. He's going to die by the end of this thing. But it's about the community accepting the death of somebody who's holding it together and still existing behind him. I think that's great. I don't know what happened with my font here for the Link finds him, the F there, why it changed from the font I was using.
Link finds him.
Fucked up. There's Andy Serkis. Lon Lon Ranch. Focus on Lon Lon. Not a complicated ranch, not a majorly profitable one, but it's one built with intent. The ranch hand, Mr. Ingo, wants to increase production, make things actually make big money. Talon, the owner, wants to have some time on his hand, doing what he loves. After an argument, Talon has an accident. He's currently in recovery, unresponsive. His daughter, Milan, expects foul play. Now, and Link will figure it out. It's like an extended thing. I don't have an idea for Zoro's domain. I don't like the Zora that much. I can't. Macau is really cool. I like the band. I like the idea of this guitar player who dies at sea. But I can't keep stealing from Majora's Mask. Like we have to tell a unique story. That much is clear. Lost Woods. Great Teku Tree is dying. Saria is sure, but she needs to convince the local leader and the local dipshit Mido. I have force femmed Mido in this. I think it's just gonna be better here. That's just kind of what we're working with. Imagine a series of things like kids labbing it out, completing it on their own, breaking into the Deku Tree's grove. This is where we're going to get a lot of like plot. We're going to hear Link and the Great Deku Tree going over the kind of same thing they did in Ocarina of Time, except this time Link's not a Kokiri. So like, who's this? And they follow him into the gob of the Great Deku Tree. Murder in Castletown. Happy Mask Salesman's dead. This kind of gets me the potion shop lady. Everyone loves the like Kom and Kotake. They love them. The bomb shop girl. People love bomb shop girl. It's just like a punk girl that people know. That's really what I have. That is the whole series. I don't have a button to end it on. I don't have an ending thing. I think as we get that, as Castletown, as the murder happens, as that goes down, Link is, Keith David in this, like rolls up to Link and the postman runs up to him and hands him a thing and is like, oh, cool. Like, what's that letter, son? And it's fucking like holds it up. It's got the smash envelope, hard cut to black. Seraph has a stinger for me. And so Seraph, I'm going to keep Pete David, the postman. That is a great idea. Lusa means we'll have Pete David in as the postman. He's running around all the time.
Riley, who are you casting as Happy Mask Salesman though?
Happy Mask Salesman is a very good question. Who am I casting as Happy Mask Salesman?
Do you mean
Let me
Pete
go
Davidson?
to my mind palace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Riley, can I make a suggestion?
No, Pete David. We said unknown actors.
Cillian Murphy is the Happy Mask Salesman.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy is the Happy Mask Salesman. I think we do get a extra bit of him, a second stinger in the fucking like Intermania. We'll see what happens from that. But Rosa from Holodrum brings the letter. That's also funny.
I have a question over here. So earlier on in the casting, you said that anyone who's like a big role, like Link or Zelda, you are trying to cast smaller name actors.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think that's the best decision. But if I can just put amidst your mind grapes here, I do have to point out here, Henry Cavill had to leave The Witcher, and he does have experience as a wandering swordsman who solves other people's problems. Do you maybe think there's some synergy here?
I think Link is best when he's a kid.
I mean, but think about this cleft-jawed giant of a man in that tiny tunic and hat.
And here's the thing. I do want to avoid doing a Matt Mercer blackface thing, so I'm not going to cast Henry Cavill as Ganondorf either here.
I wasn't saying Ganondorf, dude. I was saying Link.
I know.
I don't know whether Henry Cavill makes sense as Link. Like
Henry Cavill will come in season 2.
Apparently if I had a nickel for every time this year I've been called the racist guy in a joking context, I'd have 2 nickels.
Theo, I just wanted a reason to bring up the fact that Matt Mercer was in blackface for Ganondorf in the There Will Be Brawl series on the Escape.
Was what?
You can Google those words and you can see it.
If you Google those words, it does come up. Riley, I've got a 2-part question for you. One, on the topic of the bomb salesman, I just want to float the name John Ventimiglia, or as TV fans might know him, Artie Bucco from The Sopranos. Give a Google search of Artie Bucco, and I think that you'll see a very similar face.
Okay. I can work with that.
Far more crucially, you mentioned that this is an 8-episode series of very long-form, 90-minute to 2-hour episodes, much like the last season of Stranger Things. So I want to ask you, in what beloved comedy series will we be hiding the secret actual finale of your show?
Oh my God.
The Subspace Emissary movie.
Can I instead posit perhaps Last Week Tonight with John Oliver?
Jeff, the Subspace Emissary hasn't been announced yet, but this is where people are going to say, like, I feel like that could have been building to something. Like, what could it have been building to? And that's where they'll find out that in each of these episodes, it was a little bit of an adventure for them. There was mysteries hidden throughout that they can piece together. And they can spell the words Subspace Emissary.
Okay.
Bang. Yeah. Let's see. I got no other questions in chat. Any other questions here? No.
I do have one question. You said
that
you didn't want to just keep taking from Majora's Mask for all of the plot lines.
Yeah.
Why not take exclusively from the one good Zelda game?
So I know that's the thing, and I didn't want to do it because I didn't want people to be like, Riley just likes Majora's Mask a lot, and I do because it's really good. It's really fucking good. And like I could throw out a lot of this and replace it with Majora's Mask. We could do Milan fighting aliens on the ranch. We could do Macau like someone literally doing the someone steals his face of this dying guitarist and finds out about like the girl he left back at home who's like with his kid, the band that was like breaking up against him, and like kind of making these things connect back together. We could do the thing where we go further into the Temple of Spirit and the ghosts and the creepiness of all that. But the problem is Breath of the Wild is the one that came out recently and the one that people like, and they're stupid for that, but I have to kind of cater to them, which is why there's no Breath of the Wild in the show. But
Riley, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you want to really harp on Majora's Mask, how about an 1.5 hour long episode of Link trying and failing to defeat the Water Temple boss and getting real frustrated, and everyone hates it, and it's a miserable episode.
That's a really funny thing to be happening in the background of an entire like Prince Sidon episode. That rules.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just cut to it every couple minutes.
Riley, Seraph has asked if you would consider making sort of a Hylian sign language complang for Link to communicate in with other characters, which I think is interesting.
I like that idea. I hear you. This is where I stand on Link talking. I think I like sign language as an idea on this. I think in order to play into the weird magic of the thing, people just know what he's saying like R2-D2, but he doesn't talk.
Hmm.
And
I'm doing that.
If I can offer a suggestion here, well, like I
Yeah.
think HSL conceptually would be interesting to add Hyrulean Sign Language, or Hylian Sign Language, however you say it, in terms of like that representation. I am a sicko over here who has never gotten over Gromit from Wallace and Gromit communicating everything just through facial expressions, and the
It's
idea
possible.
of another character who just has to do that is really.
People can just do it, and it's really good. And Link emotes like a motherfucker in 2-Link mode. What streaming services is going to be on? That's a great question. Netflix is going to give me $4.5 billion.
Now, final question for you, Riley.
Yeah.
As a fan of what I believe to be the only true Zelda entertainment, how are we paying homage to the CD-ROM series on this?
We're gonna in Clocktown when the captain of the guard. We are gonna stop by that fucker's shop who sells bombs and rope and is all
Great.
like,
Okay, that's all I needed.
that's gonna be weird.
Link says one
Yeah, that
thing,
feels
and
right.
it's,
That's
I
good.
wonder what's for dinner.
The show becomes inexplicably rotoscoped for about 60 seconds.
They rotoscoped a 3D Weird Al model.
For 90 seconds of episode.
Weird Al just looks like that.
That's also true.
Thank you all for your time here today. This has been a pleasure. Let's go to the next one on the damn list, which is our final presentation this evening. The one, the only, the inimitable Andrew G. Sherman.
Much like Riley, I am here with a set of characters in a game that I am very passionate about. I'm very excited to bring to the big screen. I'd like to talk to you about Ice Climbers 2032. To be clear, this is not like Blade Runner, where there's a year as the thing. This is just the year it comes out. This is the Ice Climbers movie. I got to pick my guys last, so I had to scrape the barrel. Who are the Ice Climbers? I'm sure you're asking. You know them from Smash Bros. That's because they've been in like 7 Smash Bros games and 1 game that was on the NES and arcade machines. This is Popo. He's an ice climber. And this is Nana. She is a climber of ice. They are the ice climbers. They climb ice.
End of pitch. End of pitch.
So I had to look up anything about the ice climbers to figure out things about them. I need to take a brief moment to pause and let you know that the Nintendo fandom wiki is absolutely insane, and I need to show you a couple of things about the Ice Climbers Nintendo fandom wiki page. I'm gonna read you some things. Created by Toshihiko Nagao and Shigeru Miyamoto, the Ice Climbers and their series are among Nintendo's most recognizable and legendary mascots and franchises, respectively. That's why we're making a movie about them.
Did the Ice Climbers write this wiki page?
The Ice Climbers are also considered genuine silent protagonists. The duo hardly ever speak, only uttering simple phrases and vocalizations, such as their signature line, "Yup," during the taunt in the Super Smash Bros. Series, which can be heard in the sound test. They've only said 1 line ever, and it's in Smash Bros., and it's, "Yup." Abilities. During the first glance, it's jittery glance. At first glance, the Ice Climbers appear to be nothing more than simplistic mountaineers. However, in truth, Nana and Popo have omnipotent abilities and tactics that make them stand out from their cute and small appearances.
Wait a minute.
So, what do we do with this? What do the Ice Climbers do? The goal of Ice Climbers is to climb to the top of a mountain and find a fruit, which is being guarded by a condor. To do that, you have to climb the ice. That's the game. So, Andrew, what is this pitch? Folks, I promise this isn't brand synergy, but I need to make you all aware of a little thing called hundreds of beavers.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is
We're
going
gonna
to
find out
be
about that, Andrew.
a live-action silent film featuring Nana and Popo as they make their adventure to go through a world that is slapstick comedy live action, much like the fantastic film Hundreds of Beavers. What does that mean? Here's the plot. Oh no, Gran is sick. If only there was some way Popo and Nana could make her well. But wait, legend tells about a holy fruit that sits on top of a mountain. It can heal any ailment, and if Gran could eat it, surely she would be okay. Popo and Nana are going to have to engage in a slapstick adventure to brave the terrain to get to the top of the mountain, fighting off threats like bears, topies, and nitpickers, along with the general issues of traversing the mountainside. Once at the top of the mountain, they'll face off with the giant condor who's blocking the eggplant that will save Gran. Great! Solid film. Here's the cast. I wanted 2 young people that are not super young but have round faces, so we got Gaten Matarazzo and Elsie Fisher as Popo and Nana.
The incomparable Gatto?
Contrasting them, Steve Buscemi's playing our condor. You tell me that's not a guy whose face looks very different from the 2 of them and also kind of looks like a bird of a carrion bird. I want to cast an actual bear as the bear. And Chono Rosemary Harris is still out there acting. She's going to play Gran. She's 99 years old. Anyways, that's the pitch.
Younger than
No
Dick Van Dyke.
twist.
Oh, okay.
Unless.
All right.
Whoa.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, so while they're fighting the condor on top of the mountain, there's an explosion in the distance, followed by a ground rumbling. Why is there an avalanche? In this avalanche, the condor takes off with the eggplant, only to be shot out of the sky as it flies away. He crash lands into a building in the valley that the ice climbers have never seen before. That building is a military base?
Shut the fuck up.
With a large bipedal tank standing near it? Folks, I'd like to talk about the Shadow Moses incident real quick. So, the Shadow Moses incident is an armed revolt against the United States initiated by Foxhound on Shadow Moses Island, Alaska. Under the command of Liquid Snake, Foxhound formed the Sons of Big Boss and captured a secret nuclear weapon facility. Initially deployed to oversee a weapons testing exercise, Foxhound took DARPA Chief Donald Amberson and Arms Tech President Kenneth Baker hostage, along with a soldier who refused to participate in the insurrection. One of them will be played by Keith David. By request of Defense Secretary Jim Houseman, former Foxhound Commander Roy Campbell enlists Solid Snake to help thwart the terrorist threat. With only 19 hours until the terrorist deadline, the objectives of Snake's solo covert operation are to rescue the hostages, learn the terrorists' nuclear launch capabilities, and prevent them from carrying out this threat. Cast 2. Here's my Foxhound. I have Jamie Campbell Bower as Liquid Snake. You tell me this motherfucker doesn't look like a guy who doesn't quite understand genetics, but also thinks he has all inferior genes. We've got Walton Goggins as Revolver Ocelot as Revolver Ocelot.
Oh my god!
Dave Bautista's here to play Vulcan Raven. Ashley Padilla's here as Sniper Wolf. I know that looks like a weird pull, but remember, this is not a straight up Metal Gear Solid movie. This is a comedy film, so we need someone with comedic chops to play this role. David Desmalkian is Psycho Mantis because there's only one guy you're allowed to cast if you're doing anything that has like psychic stuff involved. And Natalia Dyer is Meryl because I think she's one of the few good actors from Stranger Things, and I'd like to throw her a role. Now, there's the important question.
Uh-huh.
Who is he? Where is he?
Who's playing Solid Snake?
Who's playing Bill Hader?
Who's playing Solid Snake?
Who's playing Otakon?
I'm ready to make everyone. Oh, who's playing Otacon? David Brian Gilbert. Brian David Gilbert. What the fuck? His brother. Anyways, who's playing Silent Snake? Silent Snake? Solid Snake. Jesus Christ, it's late. Who's playing Solid Snake? Anyways, I am here to announce that I am not making anyone happy. We're going to cast Kiefer Sutherland as Solid Snake.
Ooh.
You're making Jeff happy.
But he's going to be ADR voiceovered by David Hayter.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
And I know what you're
Yeah.
asking, Andrew, how is this going to like look okay and feel good? That's because we are going to use CGI and practical effects to make it so that everyone does not look like they are human beings. They're going to look like PlayStation 1 character models.
Oh,
We're
Yeah.
doing polygon core Metal Gear
Oh my
Solid
God.
for all the things involving the like real actors that would be involved in this.
So
All
why
right.
Bob? Never mind.
But remember, this is not a Metal Gear Solid movie. It's Ice Climbers 2032. Which means that it is also hundreds of beavers.
Of course.
Act 2.
Okay.
Popo and Nana need the eggplant to help Gran. The two of them race down the mountain and use their omnipotent abilities and tactics to infiltrate Shadow Moses and take out the members of Foxhound, who keep inadvertently getting in their way. The eggplant keeps moving from set piece to set piece due to a series of coincidences, and our heroes are one step behind them each time. Solid Snake is also acting in the background. The pair slip into the base, and they clonk Sniper Wolf on the head with their hammers. Psycho Mantis tries to turn them against each other, but they break through his manipulations by seeing him as a giant bowl of fruits. Revolver Ocelot tries to shoot one of them, but his bullet bounces off Nana's hammer and hits the Condor, who gets pissed and attacks Liquid Snake's helicopter. Y'all get it? Y'all see the vision? We are doing slapstick comedy through the Shadow Moses incident. We are not doing the Shadow Moses incident.
Okay.
I see.
It is important to note that Solid Snake and the Ice Climbers never interact. This is an Ice Climbers movie. Metal Gear Solid just happens to be going on in the background.
Oh my god.
This is like when people say that they want a Batman movie that's like secretly just a crime film and then Batman shows up. There's just a Metal Gear Solid movie happening in the background of the movie. Popo and Nana find the eggplant in the cockpit of Metal Gear Rex and accidentally turn it on when they grab it. But that's a problem for someone else to deal with. The Condor lets them ride it home to Gran, and they all live happily ever after. Who knows whatever happened to the rest of those guys? They are the Ice Climbers. This is their movie.
God.
The end?
Yeah.
The end. Yeah, this is their movie. That's all I got.
We asked a lot
Okay.
of questions in the middle of the presentation.
I'm happy for
So
it. I
we
love
can
answering
get a lot of
questions.
Yeah.
I
love-
do quick.
I love what you've set
Oh,
up
sorry.
here. It's fantastic work. Everything you've shown is great. Thank you, Sarah, for the gifted sub. Crispy Smash 92 say Melee is better than Ultimate. I think you're in the wrong chat, brother. I think something else is happening. You did not look before you typed.
These are the Ice Climbers.
Oh, don't worry. I can read
Brother,
my
the war.
presentation. I can
These
get
are
it.
the
Hold
Ice
on.
Climbers. Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah, thank you for casting BDG as Otacon. Is he going to piss himself in the movie?
Absolutely, yes. He will. That will be practical effects.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can that be a 20-minute scene?
Are Nana and Popo are they immune to Fox Die? Are they vulnerable, but they just don't encounter Snake?
Do they give it to Gran?
Okay, am I crazy or does Fox die not actually at Shadow Moses, or am I thinking of a different point in time that's a twist in the series?
Ooh, I
Fox Die
only
comes in
know
Metal
Metal
Gear
Gear
Solid
Solid 1
4,
and
doesn't
2. So
So
I don't know about twists that show up in 4.
I could have sworn they were told that they had the Fox Die virus, but they didn't actually have the Fox Die virus, and that's why when
What?
Liquid says he's going to die to Fox Die in 4, he just goes, "Haha, just kidding," and then keeps going.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I believe. I could be wrong. Either way, yes, Gran is infected with Fox Die. They accidentally get the cure. They don't realize it. The eggplant lands in some goop, and it soaks in the antidote.
I do have. Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting other people.
Go for it.
Question for you,
Theo, take
Andrew.
it.
Go ahead, Theo.
So you mentioned earlier, and this is also what tipped me off to what your reveal was going to be, that we've had a bit of a intersection with my stinger and your background plot.
No, there wasn't. Because in the
That
end
was
of your
Captain Falcon?
movie, Captain Falcon showed up. That was Captain Falcon. And then in the end of this movie,
Shit, you're right.
Captain Falcon. At the end of this movie, we see Solid Snake standing outside like the rubble of Shadow Moses Island. He lights a cigarette. Neither Meryl nor Otacon have survived in this version because they're not in Smash Bros. But then Captain Falcon walks up, hands him an envelope, and says, "Show me your moves," and then leaves.
And then
Does he-
it's like,
does
by
he
the
have
way,
the
I
same
have to go tell
silhouette?
Shadow the Hedgehog that his boyfriend is alive.
That's implied.
Jeff,
Go ahead, Jeff.
You had a question.
Yes. You mentioned that Walton Goggins will be playing Revolver Ocelot.
Yes.
Does that mean, similar to when he played Baby Billy in The Righteous Gemstones, that Revolver Ocelot will be hanging dong?
Revolver Ocelot has many guns. I think that we all know what one of them is.
Okay, great.
You're amazed to see the flippy tricks he can do with that one.
I can be honest,
Wild
I don't
watching
know
him
if that's
reload.
True. We don't have to get into it. I don't know if that's true.
Andrew, so are the ice climbers also like low poly graphics? Like what are they in contrast to the Shadow Moses folks?
That's a good question. I realized partway through through my presentation that I'd kind of accounted for one thing, but opened up a whole different can of worms. I think that we're gonna get. They're not low poly, but they are like. I think that they are this style, this style of chibi animation that you kind of see them in Smash Bros. Like they're not like realistic people, but they are like. I do want it to be a little creepy. It's going to be kind of like Alita Battle Angel, where it's
Okay,
like
sure.
that is what people look like, but almost not quite. I think that it is going to be like weird CGI Gaten Majorazo and Ali Fish. Sorry, I just saw in the chat, like you get one F-bomb, where would the one yup be?
Your wife, yeah.
Solid Snake, easy.
Yeah, I think that the one yup is gonna happen. That's a good question. I think that Vulcan Raven is gonna come out and he's gonna start saying a bunch of cryptic shit, and then Nana and Popo are gonna go, yup! And he'll be excited that people agree with him, unlike the rest of Foxhound, and then he'll be chill and let them go.
Awesome.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Chef's kiss.
Andrew, I've got a question for you, which is, what does that Nintendo fandom wiki say about Solid Snake's abilities?
I have no idea. I didn't look at Solid Snake, unfortunately. I know Solid Snake. Solid Snake is my bestie. I don't know
I'd
Nana
like to
and
know
Popo
about
very
his
well, so I
omnipotent
needed to
powers
learn
and
about their
techniques.
powers.
Their omnipotent powers.
Their
Andrew,
omnipotent powers.
Thank you so much for
was
performing
great.
this, for giving us this wonderful pitch. Thank you to all of our presenters tonight for putting together a wonderful Super Smash universe. Smash Bros. Has not been canceled while we've been doing this.
Thank God.
No
Thank God.
major world news has broken, but we have crushed it. We've done a good job here. Everyone should be proud. Thank you, chat, for being here. Thank you, writers, for writing. That's fucking it. We're done. We're done under time now. Unless we want to freewheel out, everyone pitch a scene of Subspace Emissary. I think we're
Can I
good.
at least, before we even try to
I-
pitch Subspace Emissary, can I like review where all our characters are at when they are entering Final Destination?
Yeah, I
We've
mean, if you got the
fucking-
information, Theo, if you got the work, where are all the characters entering?
Well, I mean, and not even like me speculating, just objectively based on our movies. We've got Shadow the Hedgehog trying to find if Sonic the Hedgehog is alive. We got Mr. Game & Watch, who's rolling in with, as far as we know, no combat experience, but he's been fighting his entire life. We got Billy Mitchell, who is just averted turning into Donkey Kong like the fucking curse in the ring.
Yep.
We've got the me that like from Super
me.
Smash Bros. Who has undergone
knows
some
why, how,
philosophical
and who to
evolution. We got the villager, who is a former killer, who is now
Yes.
maybe going to have
Isabel's
to
also
kill
coming.
again. Was that?
Yeah, he's a
Isabel's
Well-
also coming.
Okay, that's fair. Because like maybe like having now maybe kill again. We've got fucking Link from a like prestige mini series, like Columbo style. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, so please let me know if I am.
Oh, Nana and
and then we've
Well,
got
there's also Diddy
two-
Kong.
Wait, sorry, and I haven't gotten to the ice climber. And then the fucking ice climbers with Solid Snake in the background.
Yup.
Yup.
This feels
Yup.
right.
Like, so many different genres that we are going to have to reconcile, but I believe in us.
That and listen, the writer we have hired for the sub. I'm happy to announce it tonight. We have hired a writer for the Subspace Emissary movie, and it's going to be Colin Trevorrow.
Okay, thank God. Okay, that's worse.
Oh, okay, good night.
Yup.
And they realized they lost the Subspace Emissary.
No, I can hear Jeff. I can hear Jeff on the stream.
Yeah, now we actually
I'll spill myself. We have a minute left, and I already took melatonin. It'd be really funny if someone took 6,000, so I have to power through. You look at a gym and you